when we first heard about you, it was $1 million deal already in play.
Yeah.
But the rumor was you sounded just like the Notorious B.I.G. How did you feel like that? Was that intentional or was that just...
I mean, how do I sound right now?
The same.
Right.
You know, so for me, it was nothing because I knew who I was. So it was just a matter of being who I was. And I think every artist that comes into the game is compared to somebody.
Right.
So obviously having a baritone, being from Brooklyn, you know, being Caribbean, you know, there's a lot there to attach, and you got to attach people to something.
Right.
You know, there's been, I'm not the first, there's been many artists that come out, oh, she sound like so-and-so, he sound like so-and-so, he remind me of so-and-so, and then being signed to Bad Boy, you know, with B.I.G, you know, being the superstar of the label, you know, but then Black Rob got a baritone.
Right.
You know, just you can't help your baritone.
But the
So
Brooklyn
me,
background...
I mean, I can't help where I'm from,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It is
Do
what
you
it is.
think? Do you think Diddy signed you because you sound like Diddy?
Diddy signed me because Chris Lighty and Lyor Cohen was offering me $1 million. Diddy signed me because Jimmy Iovine was offering me millions of dollars.
The bidding war.
So that's what, no, but that started, they started that. Diddy didn't start that. I rapped for
They
Diddy.
started the bidding war first.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. When I rapped for Diddy, Mark Pitts put me on the phone with Diddy.
Shout out to Boston.
But before I met Mark Pitts, Foxy Brown manager met me in the same barbershop. This is so ironic. I've never seen the show before, so I didn't even know this was a setup, but this is where it started. I was just telling somebody, you know, once you barbershop hot, you're out of here. That's a fact.
Right.
I've never heard that saying before. That makes sense.
It's rap, at least I don't know the rap game now. I don't know what these kids are doing. I don't even know if they rap anymore. I don't know what it is. But back then you had to be nice.
Right.
You had to be nice. Like there was no gimmicks. There was no, you know, as far as, you know, I remember, you know, remember the sauce, you know, your 5 mics. That's why I said, keep your 5 mics. Just give me the cane. Yeah. Because, you know, they was brutal. Like if you wasn't nice, they was shooting you up, bang, bang.
This
like,
man, wait, I have to say, I don't know if this was before or after the $1 million, but this man was at Mr. Chow on 57th Street every night eating.
Yeah, I was doing my thing.
Every
I was young
night.
and rich.
I mean, you was there every night.
I was there every night. I was there every night, but I wasn't paying. That's the difference.
I was there with Rollo and WAP and the whole crew. Yeah.
Yep, shout out to them.
But yeah, so everybody wanted to sign me. So it's like, don't remix it now that I went with Diddy and don't front because we got the receipts. Like, God bless the dead, Chris Lighty is really the one that triggered it. Because like I said, when I met Don Poole, manager Foxy Brown, he was working with Mark Pitts, and it was like this, right here, spitting.
Right.
And that same confidence, that same Brooklyn conviction. I just got shot a year ago, so I'm not afraid of nothing. And I'm trying to get something, I'm trying to go somewhere. Like I did that. I made them believe that this was fire. Even if I wasn't as nice as I thought I was, I thought I was nice.
That's right.
And when I was spitting that flame, they was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is it. Right. This is it right here. You know, and a lot of it is God's grace, but so Foxy's manager, Don Poole, he thought I was it. Then we went to my man Manny, who, you know, managed Future and Nicki Minaj and Keisha Cole. I rapped for him. He had a barbershop too. Because you know how the street entrepreneurs do it. You know, the barbershop is the transition to legitimacy. Right. But so everybody that met me thought I was nice, right? Nobody was, you know, thinking about no voice and no nothing. It was just like, and that's how I taught. When I was a young kid, my name was Shabba because of Shabba Ranks. Right. The same baritone. I could sing Trillalo. Yeah, you know what I mean? I used to know all the Shabba. I knew all the Shabba songs. Right.
I'm glad you said that because I feel like that when I see stories on the internet, a lot of talk is about your accent, right?
Oh, they wild and like, bro, if I'm in Belize, how am I gonna talk like this?
It makes no sense.
But I grew up in Brooklyn. But I can't talk Brooklyn and Belize. Right. Like right now, if I start talking Belize, yeah. So when I'm young, this the way I'm gonna do, and this the how I get started, you're gonna be like, those people out there in America won't even understand what I'm saying. But it's not what they call it?
Cosplay.
Code switching.
Code switching.
No.
It's just like English and
I'm a
Spanish,
Belizean
yeah.
American.
Yeah.
Like I got rights.
You from Brooklyn, your next door neighbors from Jamaica, your other neighbors from Trinidad, down the hall you got the Puerto Ricans.
But
like,
listen, when I'm talking in Belize, I'm talking to the Belizean media.
People.
Right.
I'm not talking to y'all. If y'all see it, y'all see it. But my life is in Belize. Like, you know, I don't.
No, that don't make no sense.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
So when did the comparison start?
But but everybody wanted to sign me. Chris Lighty is the one that set it off. Chris Lighty, it was a few months of
Rest
me.
in peace, Chris. Lighty.
Yeah, rest in peace
rest
to
in
Chris
peace.
Lighty. It was a few months of me, you know, spitting for spitting for Sylvia Rome, spitting for this one, spitting for that one, spitting for Diddy. And everybody was like, yeah, you nice, but nobody was sending the deal over.
Right.
So it was a little limbo. And it was like from August to December when I got the call from Chris Lighty.
Right.
He was like, come down to Def Jam. So I went down to Def Jam, Varick Street, and he put on a acetate. That's what we called it at the time, it was acetate. He's like, this is new producer, Swiss Beats. Nobody ever heard of Swiss Beats at that time. And I went in, and he was like, yo, we're gonna sign the deal right now. He took me to Lyor's office. I spit for Lyor. He was like, you know, you're incredible. And that's what triggered it, because I think they called Diddy, because they're all friends. And they call him talking crazy, like, yo, yeah, you think you got it? Wait until you see what we're about to do to you. Because Def Jam was cold. And Def Jam was looking for that next superstar. This before, I think, Volume 1 that came out, didn't really do what it was supposed to do. I think, you know, it's a great album. There's some things on there that, you know, maybe could have been left off, but it wasn't Ho's best work. It wasn't Hard Knock Life.
Right.
So they didn't have that dominance. X wasn't there yet.
Right.
You know, Red and Meth was doing their thing, but, you know, they was transitioning.
Right.
And Bad Boy was the
Gold
Holy Grail.
standard at the
It was
time,
the Holy
yeah.
Grail. So that's what they was, you know, they was after finding the next great artist. So so that's how it really started. And then everybody, Jimmy Iovine, everybody started throwing crazy money at me. And then, you know, Diddy flew me out to Los Angeles, and I spit again for him in person, him and J-Lo. And he was like, yo, I'm not even gonna hold you, you know, let's just sign the deal. Let's just do it right now.
So it seemed like a lot of your stuff was spitting. Like there was no actual songs.
Nah, it was just spitting. It just, you know.
That's what it was.
I did
during
actually.
that
No.
time.
I did a tape over a bunch of Hove beats, and that's the whole story. When I ran up on Hove, we was in Metronome.
You say you
Metronome.
you asked him
Metronome
about
was
a
a
gun
spot.
situation.
Yeah, you know, listen. Yeah, I'm fresh off the streets.
Like yo, you got your gun on you.
You're fresh off the streets, and you know, Hove is a hustler. He's a, you know, kingpin, you know, and he get money, and you know, so we're not really rappers, like, you know. So I didn't consider myself a rapper. I didn't make that transition. I'm still in the streets, and so you know, that's how we talk. Like it was more figuratively than literally, because I wouldn't expect him to shoot me if he thought that it was trash. But that was just the level of confidence that I had in my work. So yeah, I did have a tape, and he threw away the tape. I ran up on him at 560 State Street.
You mentioned that in the doc.
and waited for him outside. Me and Manny.
When he threw away the tape in front of you?
No. Well, Clark Kent, God rest his soul, you know, told us that he tossed the tape. And when me and Manny, my guy, Manny, great guy, big time film producer now in Los Angeles. So we were stalking Ho. We laid up for him outside, and he came out, iceberg, hat low, iceberg, you know, sweater, jumped in the road, and we was like, well, I was like, yeah, you know, so what's happening? And he was like, yeah, it's all right. Rolled up his window and drove off. And I was like, no, but that was great for me, because then that made me, you know, I'm one of those people, I dig deeper, and I, you know, I work harder, and I'm going to show you. You know, that didn't break me. You know, that made me want to work harder and want to prove to everybody how great I was. And sure enough, once, you know, I flew out to Los Angeles, Roc-A-Fella came back. You know, once they heard that I was about to sign with Diddy and everything was happening, and they saw me at the Grammys with Diddy, you know, everybody came back.
What was that
Right.
conversation like when you ran back into Hov after he frisbee just?
You know, the next conversation I had with Hov,